So guys, what is going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. So guys, Leonard Ellerbe has made a crazy statement. He says I won't call it a crazy statement, but he's giving his take on how he thinks the trilogy between Wilder and Tyson Fury goes. Listen, firstly, I wanna say, it looks like the fight looks likely now to take place. It's obviously a fight that us British fans don't want, because we rather see the undisputed fight with AJ and Fury. But what I will say, if Wilder is contractually obliged to it, then I think I haven't got a problem with it, because at the end of the day, it's part of the contract, and Fury's obliged to fight Wilder. And someone pointed out, listen, Wilder fought Fury the first time, right? And Wilder didn't need to fight Fury. He gave Fury a voluntary. Then the rematch, Wilder didn't need to give Fury a rematch. If Wilder wanted to avoid him, right? If Wilder wanted to avoid him, he could have avoided him, especially after the way the first fight went. It was a tricky fight for Wilder, but Wilder went straight into the fire. Then he got beat, and contractually, there was another fight. So Fury, moving on to a Joshua fight, I think, although that's what I want, and people are like, oh, well, Fury beat him. No, but it doesn't matter whether Fury beat him convincingly. If Wilder wants this third fight, he's entitled to it because it was in the contract. Let's not forget, he gave Fury an opportunity when Fury was down in the dumps. And I know people say, well, oh, that was a big fight for Wilder. No, it was a big fight for Fury as well, because where would a Fury have made that kind of money, or that kind of, it would have been Joshua, but really Joshua wouldn't have given him a 50-50 split if it wasn't for Wilder. If Fury didn't beat Wilder the way he did, he wouldn't be getting a 50-50 split. That fight would never happen, because Joshua ain't going to give Fury a 50-50 split. Not a chance. The only reason now he got a 50-50 agreement is because of the fact that he beat Wilder, and because of the promotion and everything behind that fight, Fury was able to benefit from it, and that's why he's managed to get a 50-50 split with Joshua. But for me, if Fury's, I'm pretty sure after that outstanding performance against Wilder the second time, he'll be confident that he can beat Wilder again. So then there should be no trouble. I think they should make the fight, and then Fury should look to beat Wilder and then go in November. Now, in terms of what Leonard Ellerbe said about, he feels that Wilder will work out a way, and in the third fight, he feels that Wilder will knock Fury out cold. What I will say about that is that obviously, Leonard Ellerbe is a little biased, of course, because he's behind, he's a guy that's, on Wilder's, no, I wouldn't say on his team, but he's part of the PBC. He's one of the, I think he's a guy, he's involved in the promotion and stuff. So I'm pretty sure he's gunning for Wilder to win that fight. So of course he's going to be a little biased. But in terms of the way a lot of people have reacted, I saw a lot of people put thumbs down on that video. Because obviously the way Wilder got beat in that second fight, people are just thinking that Fury does it again. But one thing I want to point out is I would be picking Fury to win, but by no means I don't think this is an easy fight. I think a lot of people are overlooking Deontay Wilder. And I want to make a few points. And what points I wanted to make is Deontay Wilder is now going to be preparing for Tyson Fury from a defensive standpoint, and he's going to be preparing for Tyson Fury with that come forward style. You see what Tyson Fury did. Tyson Fury in the first fight, a lot of people say Tyson Fury was unfit and he was not the best of himself in the first fight. Had nothing to do with that. Tyson Fury fought a fight the way he did against Vladimir Klitschko. The problem is with Wilder, he's too ruthless, he's too wild, he's too unpredictable, right? For you to fight a defensive fight, he will get you somewhere along the line. If you're fighting a fight where you're looking to dodge and move and look to beat him on points, eventually, somewhere along the line, right, you're going to get caught. You can't fight scared against Wilder. And what might be scared, I'm not saying Fury was fighting scared the first time. What I mean is he was fighting a defensive fight. That might be all right against Vladimir Klitschko. The thing is with Wilder, Wilder's going to throw punches. He may miss a lot of the punches, but eventually he's going to catch you. And Wilder has that kind of power where he just needs to catch you once and it could be all over. So what happened in that first fight in the 12th round when Fury got knocked down? When he got back up, he bullied Wilder. He started taking it to Wilder, and he realized, hang on a minute, this is how you fight this guy. So basically what Fury did is Fury in the second fight saw that last round, and he basically applied those tactics from the first round in the second fight. And Wilder couldn't fight going backwards. He just couldn't. He just couldn't handle the pressure. He couldn't handle the strength. He couldn't handle Fury manhandling him. He couldn't handle it. However, now Deontay Wilder knows what Tyson Fury is going to do. Now Deontay Wilder is going to prepare for that. I'm not saying that that means he's going to win, or I'm not saying that he's going to be good enough, even what he trains and prepares and plan, and whether he's able to execute that. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that's what makes this third fight intriguing. The fact that we want to see what adjustments can Deontay Wilder make, or if he can make any. Or is it just going to be the same result? Because one thing's for sure, Deontay Wilder is going to have to make some adjustments. See, Deontay Wilder, for majority of his career, this is how I think he's been fighting. He's been going into a fight hoping that he's going to land the right hand. That he's going in. He basically relied on his power for majority of his career, and most of the time, majority of his career, it worked. He landed the right hand. But if you look at most of his fights prior to that, he was probably down on points, but he landed that right hand. Fury's too good to just go in there hoping that you're going to land the right hand. He's too skilled. He's too slick. He's very big. He's very slippery. You have to go in there with a game plan. There has to be a guy looking to set up his punches, setting traps in order to land. Now, you've got a big right hand, yes, but you need to set up that big right hand. And I believe that's what Deontay Wilder is going to be doing for this third fight. Whether it's going to be good enough is another thing. It may not be good enough. Fury may be too good. Like I said, I'm picking Fury to win, but don't be shocked if Wilder knocks Tyson out in the third fight. It's by no means out of the equation. I think people are overlooking Wilder massively. By no means am I saying Wilder's going to be a favorite in this fight. No, Fury's a substantial favorite. But don't overlook Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder is still the same guy. Still the same guy that hasn't got the greatest boxing skills, but has got a huge punching power. And let's not forget, this is a guy that's lost, right? And he's lost badly. And now he wants to get revenge. He wants to get revenge. And he knows the way he's going to get revenge is not by doing what he did previously, is by working out a game plan, setting traps in order to walk Fury onto that big right hand. And don't underestimate Deontay Wilder, because let's not forget, this guy's a bronze medalist. So I know a lot of people think he can't box. I believe he's a better boxer than what's been portrayed. And the reason why I think that he's been negating those boxing skills is because of his punching power. You kind of fall in love with your punching power. Many people said about Amir Khan that he fell in love with his speed at times, and sometimes he would negate some of his advantages. I feel like Deontay Wilder, although I don't think he's got the greatest boxing skills, but I do think his boxing skills are a lot better than what he portrays at times. And the reason why, I think because he's got big right hand and such huge power, he kind of waits for the right opportunity to land that big punch. And in the process, he's looking terrible while looking for that big punch. He's getting outboxed, like against Ortiz. Ortiz was winning every single round when he was fighting Wilder the second time. And then, boom, Wilder knocked him out. See, the thing is with Wilder fights, he was getting outboxed, but he would find a way to land that big right hand, and it'd be spectacular. And we'd all forget about what happened previous, and he forgot about it as well. Because he, for me, should have always been looking to improve his boxing skills. Teddy Atlas made a point that Wilder is, his boxing skills, all throughout his career, he's been relying on a big punch, the big power punch, the big right hand, which he's famous for. It's probably the best big right hand, in boxing history, Wilder's. But at the end of the day, with Fury, I think he's going to have to be a lot more cute. He's going to have to come up with a game plan. And that's why I think this fight, I believe Wilder is going to come up with a game plan. Whether it's going to be good enough, only time will tell. But don't overlook Deontay Wilder. The people that are saying Deontay Wilder's got no chance and we've seen Fury beat him twice, write him off at your own peril. Because when you've got a guy with that kind of X factor, that kind of punching power, I don't think he should be overlooked. I don't think anyone with that kind of punching power should be overlooked. In boxing, it's proven. Anyone with serious punching power, at any given moment, he can knock you cold. Julian Jackson, he was getting outboxed by Harold Graham and boom. And I know Fury, listen, Fury and Wilder could fight 5 times. Wilder will struggle to win any rounds. But there's always going to be that threat. There's always going to be that threat. Don't go off what you saw last fight, because the third fight will be a different fight where both guys will come in. You know, Fury will probably come in and try to adopt the same strategy he had the second time. Wilder will come in with a different strategy, and it's for Wilder to adjust, because Fury won the second fight. It's for Wilder to adjust and show us he can do something else. He can set traps. He needs to set traps in order to land that big right hand. So Wilder needs to make the adjustments. Can he do it? Is he good enough? That's for him to prove. And that's what makes this fight intriguing. That's why I'm not so, I'm upset because I wanted to see Joshua Fury. Of course I did. I'm just like everybody else. But at the same time, if Wilder and Fury get made, I'm not going to be crying about it. I know people are, I don't want to see it. No, I don't mind seeing it. I don't mind seeing it. And I don't mind seeing Joshua Usyk either. Because I tell you why I don't mind seeing it. Because both fighters are live fighters in those fights. Wilder can beat Fury and Usyk can beat Joshua. So why wouldn't I want to see those fights? I never thought Pulev could beat Joshua. I didn't think that was a live fight. I always felt Joshua would beat Pulev. Caballo, they were talking about Caballo fighting Fury. I didn't think Caballo would beat Fury. But Wilder, with the X factor, with the punching power, Usyk with the boxing skills, they're live fights. They're tough fights. They're fights that they could easily lose. Don't overlook Usyk and don't overlook Deontay Wilder. By no means, those are seriously tough fights. Trust me. Those aren't easy fights. You think a guy with a punching power, Deontay Wilder, is an easy fight, or someone with the boxing skills of Alexander Usyk, just because he's a little smaller than Joshua, is an easy fight. Usyk has been brilliant all throughout his career so far. I know people talk he's not looked great at heavyweight. Give him a chance. Give him a chance. He beat Chisora. He's now going to hopefully fight Anthony Joshua. Give him a chance. Let's see how he does. Don't just start writing somebody off just because, you know, he didn't have 1 or 2 bad... Well, it doesn't matter. How do you know when he steps up to a Joshua, he's not going to raise his game and put on a clinic? How do you know? You haven't seen him lose yet. And Wilder, after 1 defeat against probably the best heavyweight in the world, everybody wants to write him off. But yet they forget about everything he was doing previous. Oh, he's not fought anybody. He was exposed. No. He's got serious punching power. That's proven. It don't matter who you're fighting. When you got punching power, you got punching power. You could be fighting a nobody. It doesn't matter. To knock him the way Wilder was knocking him out, you've got punching power. And let's be real. A lot of you say, oh, well, you know, if he fought Dillian White or Andy Ruiz, you honestly think if he lands that right hand, he's not going to knock those guys out? Whoever Wilder lands flush on, they're going to go. It doesn't matter whether they're more skilled or in the top 5 or top 10 or whether he's fighting the top 20 or top 20. It doesn't matter. Whoever Wilder lands the big right hand, it could be Anthony Joshua, it could be Tyson Fury, it could be anyone. They're all going to get knocked out if he lands. Do I think he's going to land that big right hand on Tyson Fury? I'm not sure. That's for Wilder's to prove us wrong. I'll be picking Fury to win that fight. But by no means is it an easy fight. And Wilder, Joshua, I've always felt that's a 50-50 fight. I've always felt that's a great fight. Someone even pointed out to me the other day that I've always wanted to see Wilder v Joshua. And I've always wanted to see that fight because I feel that fight's explosive and a great fight. And anybody that says, oh, Wilder's got no chance against Joshua, then you're pushing a biased agenda, because that's not far from the truth. But that's my take on it. What do you make of Leonard Ellerbe's comments that Wilder will knock Tyson Fury out in the trilogy? Leave your thoughts, guys. And guys, remember to please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.